Hi, welcome to an Apple Search Ads session with Incipia. Today we're going to be doing a very quick run-through live demo of setting up the optimal campaign structure for your search ads campaigns. And this is just a starter. It's going to include your brand, your search match campaign, and then non-brand broad and exact match. You can also add competitive, you can add exploratory keywords, you can add a low impression CPA target, higher bid to try to get keywords to serve, but basic campaign structure is what we're going to be demonstrating today. So the first thing is that if you've got a ton of campaigns and the UI is very cluttered, you can create a new campaign group, call it whatever you like, and then that will give you a new space to work with that isn't so cluttered, a way to get around the inability to delete entities. So first we're going to start off with brand. I'm going to give it symbolic numbers here. You can of course give it whatever budget, daily cap, bid, and all that you like. And we're not going to set a CPA target. I'm going to turn off search match. Again, this is important because you only want keyword targets to be in an ad group or search match. You don't want them both activated together. And in fact, we suggest separating search match out into a separate campaign so that you can control the budget that goes to search match. Search match is just going to be for keyword discovery, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit here. There's our app. So we're going to use exact matches for brands. Just enter in a few popular combinations. This one actually might be a little too broad. Usually you're going to want to add every variation of your brand, but goalie by itself is people looking for hockey games, soccer games, and things like that. So we'll stick with our actual brand extended names. That's it. Start the campaign. Now we've got our two exact match brand keywords. Now we're going to create a search match. Select the same app. Again, symbolic budget. You can give it whatever you like, and we would recommend actually to give it less than your non-brand. Perhaps half to start with, and over time you're really going to want to give it less budget as you move more keywords, or search terms rather, from search match into your non-branded campaign. Search match's ROI will decline as you're taking out all the performing search terms from it. And so just give it a lower budget to start with. You're actually going to want to give it a decent bid so that it can have enough room to go and do keyword discovery. Search match is not going to be the campaign that drives ROI for you. Its main purpose is to discover keywords. So many different things people will type in and decide to download your app with, and it's important to find all of those keywords. Just when you think that you've got all the keywords that people are going to search and download your app with added, more keyword variations will pop up. It is impossible to fully determine all the high ROI or variations that people are going to use. And so search match and broad match both help you capture those variations without really doing much work besides giving them some budget. So one thing that you definitely want to do is set a CPA goal. You want the CPA goal to be higher than your actual CPA target, so that the Apple search or the Apple CPA algorithm has some room to work with. One thing we wrote a blog post about, tips for search ads campaigns. Your setting a CPA target or CPA goal will reduce your impression share as Apple tries to show impressions for the right searches. With a search match campaign, it helps focus search match on only the searches that are going to produce conversions, which is good at first. Eventually, if you don't have so much of a limited budget, then you can leave the CPA target out and just give it a lower budget and decent bid for just to do as wide of keyword discovery as possible. But if you are limited in terms of budget, then giving it a goal is going to be good, but give it a goal that's a little bit higher than your target. So I'm going to leave this on. This is going to be a search match campaign. We add no keywords. But one thing we're going to want to do is add negative keywords for all the actual keywords that we're targeting. And we'll do that after we create the non-brand campaign. So we've got a search match, now we'll create a non-brand. Same app. So if non-brand gets 20, then our search match had 10. So we're going to create the non-brand exact here. So for exact, we know what keyword, the exact is where your performance is going to come from. You really want sort of the 80-20 rule, but maybe not that high. You want most of your impressions to be going towards this non-branded exact or competitive exact, where your CPA is going to be the best, your post-click metric, performance, purchases, retention rate, all that is going to be best from the keywords that are exact match that you want to be bidding on. You're really not going to have any keywords in here that are not going to be performing for you. If you do have keywords that don't perform so well for you, they'll be in a doghouse exact match ad group. That's where you can give it a specific CPA target, a lower bid. You can try and sort of rehabilitate those keywords that do produce conversions, but not so well. So to summarize, non-brand exact, no CPA target, because these are all keywords that you really want as much traffic as possible from, and a CPA target or goal will reduce in your impression share. So your bid should also be higher for exact match than it should be for broad. For search match should be high with a low budget to give it as much room again to explore, while maintaining a loss limiter using the budget. No relevant searches. We will be manually bidding on all of those. So let's say to-do list, to-do app, task app, task list app. Do your keyword research to figure out which keywords you want to bid on, and you can use Apple suggestions here. You should look at your ASO performance to see which keywords you're ranking well for, which keywords that you want to rank for, because search match or search ads can boost your organic keyword ranking. And keep an eye on the search popularity. That we've got a little plugin here that tells us search popularity up here, but it doesn't seem to work down here. Keywords that have a higher search popularity are going to have more volume. However, they're going to be typically more competitive. So to-do list will probably have a higher CPT than to-do app, depending on bidding trends. But as a rule of thumb, the more popular a keyword is, the more difficult and expensive it's going to be to get traffic from that. So for your exact match ad group, you're really going to want to go and do a lot of long tail research and find keywords that have maybe not so high of a search popularity, but a really good CPT and therefore really good CPA and ROI. So we don't need any negative keywords for our exact match ad group because it's exact match. And so I've saved those keywords here, and we'll need that for negating them out of the broad match ad group and the search match campaign. Now we're going to do our broad. So here we're actually going to set a CPA goal. Oops. And we're not going to have any matching. Again, if you have limited budget and you're not able to do as much exploration with your ad spend, i.e. you need to generate a return and you can't really spend a lot of money to figure out what works and what doesn't, setting a CPA goal can help you in that endeavor. It's going to limit your impression share, but it's going to make your CPA mostly shake out to around your goal. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to hit your goal, but it will increase the chances of you hitting your goal. But again, the trade-off is that you'll get less impression share, less volume. So now we're going to, oops. Going to remove the brackets. And add them back in. So now we have the broad match versions of all those. And here we're going to add in the exact matches as negative keywords, because we want all the traffic from this particular search, task list app, to go to our exact match ad group, where we have a higher bid, we have better visibility, because we know that this exact keyword drove installs, drove purchases. We don't know really what happens if task app produces conversions. It could be task app, it could be task list app, it could be anything that task app matches to. So we're going to want the exact match traffic to go to the exact match keyword, and the broad match, we use broad match of the same keyword so that we can get more traffic related to this particular keyword. Again, these are all keywords that you want traffic from. Broad match helps you do targeted keyword discovery using these keywords as the seed. Search match will use your metadata, so your title, keyword space, your in-app purchases, your description, even your developer name, and it'll do pretty wide and broad and varied discovery. So your ROI should be higher for a broad match keyword than for search match, but your ROI will be highest in the exact match. And so, again, search match, broad match, or keyword discovery, and exact match is where your performance is going to be, where your bid should be highest, where your most attention should be focused. So now we're going to go to our search match, and we're going to add our broad match keywords as actually broad match negatives. And you can do it at the campaign level, you can do it at the ad group level. It really doesn't matter because there's only one ad group here. And the reason that we use broad match negatives in the search match campaign is because we have a broad match keyword that's going to be picking up all the broad match traffic that's in our non-brand broad match ad group. And so search match should be looking beyond that to other things that could be found, because you're already capturing all the broad match traffic from these keywords in your non-brand campaign. So search match really, again, should be going out as far reaching as possible to find keywords and variations that you didn't even think of, that you don't have any keywords that are covering. Hopefully Apple will upgrade its servers or come up with some way to make the UI and the management of search ads campaigns a little faster. But the gist of it is that you add all of these as broad match negative keywords to your search match campaign. And that's about it. So you're going to have your brand, which is exact match terms. You can add broad match, but broad match brand terms. However, be careful that they could match to other things like competitors, like general keywords, and you really want those to be picked up by your non-brand or your search match campaign. So just to review, oh, here we go. Now you add negative keywords, add these in. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, oh, let's refresh. Additionally, what we're going to want to do is add all of our brand keywords as negatives to the non-brand in the search match campaign. This will ensure that the brand searches are only going to the brand campaign and the keywords, so that we're not seeing branded searches matched to non-brand broad or search match, because then it's going to inflate the performance for these keywords. So if we have task list and it's broad match and it's getting a CPA of 40 cents, it could be that if we look into the search terms for that particular keyword, task list is actually matching to goalie. Task list is matching to our brand term. And that's what's causing the CPA to be so low. So we don't want that to happen. We want as much visibility on an individual search term or exact match level as possible, because that helps us control the bid for that search term. It helps us also with impression share, and it also helps us with reporting, because when we're looking in our MMP, just apps like Kochava Tune, we're going to see performance on a keyword level. And so again, broad match doesn't give us as much visibility to what search terms we're generating conversions for and purchases for. Exact match will, search match will not also. So once again, it's a bit complicated, but if you follow this structure that we've outlined today, your campaigns will be better for it. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. And we're just going to add a broad negative keyword for goalie. Really, you want to add something that's going to prevent, you're going to want to add the word or the keyword that prevents as much brand traffic as possible. Because if we just added goalie, if we just added our exact match brand terms in here, then broad match and search match could find other variations that people are typing in and misspellings, for example, and start matching to. And actually, this will not prevent misspellings. So you're going to have to go through your search match search terms and make sure that you're pulling out misspellings and negating those and moving those to your brand campaign over time. But really, the main goal here is just to prevent brand traffic from appearing in your search match campaign. And again, exact match doesn't need any negative keywords, because we know exactly what we're going to be getting traffic for. But in addition to negating out the exact match keywords from your broad match ad group, again, we want to add goalie, the brand term. Now, broad match negative keywords are broad. Anything with the word goalie in it will be prevented from serving. So do be careful when you're adding these. For example, if we see a search term that doesn't perform so well, you may be tempted to add, let's say this to-do app free, it's not performing well. You may be tempted to add free as a negative broad match keyword. However, we would recommend, until you're really sure that you don't want any traffic ever again from any search containing that broad match negative, use exact matches, because to-do app free may not perform well, but to-do list free could perform well. Task app free could perform well. And if you add free as a negative broad match, you're going to be preventing traffic from these other terms, which could do okay. So be careful when using broad match. Make sure that you don't want any traffic from that at all. Make sure that really the most important thing is impressions are going to a place where you have the best visibility on it, and you have the best ability to control the bid. So that's the recommended campaign structure, starter campaign structure rather. Again, you can add competitive, you can add a doghouse where you're trying to rehabilitate keywords that are producing conversions but not at a very good CPA. You can add a no impressions ad group where you have keywords that are not generating any impressions, and you want to raise the bid on them over time to see if you can get impressions to serve for them. You can try related keywords, which are probably going to have low impression share and low ROI, so you're going to want to separate them into a different campaign or at least ad group so you can control them with a CPA target and even budget for the campaign. There's other things that you can add in, but this is the recommended structure for now. Now, once Apple, and if they do, start to calculate relevance on an ad group level, and we need to dig in to figure out whether this is the case at all or whether this may be the case soon, as it is in Google, then you will start to want to break out your ad groups into more specific ad groups. So we'll want to have task first to do. And if moreover, if we can control the ads that show for each of these, we'll want to say task app for the task ad group and to-do list app for the to-do list ad group. But one other reason to break out your keywords into more ad groups than non-brand broad or non-brand exact is if you want to control the CPA target, the target CPA. Then you're going to have to split out a keyword or keywords into a different ad group so you can give it a different CPA goal. Also, if you want to target different dimensions, for example, time of day, day of week, gender, age, location, device, then you'll need to separate things out into different ad groups at the very least, because these are all controlled at the ad group level. So we'll stop diving into more and more topics before this becomes overcomplicated, but hopefully this latest run through helps at least give you a visual example of how to set things up. It's possible that we may have forgotten one or two things along the way. This is kind of ad-libbed, not prepared, and so if we do, we apologize. But if you have questions or need clarification on anything, please don't hesitate to send us an email, hello@incipia.co, and we will happily reply or create a new video or a post that gets to the gist of your question. Thanks. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and follow our blog, and sign up for our email newsletter to get updates, and we'll see you again soon.